Hey, we are live. It's the Green Umbrella Live Lunch. It's Thursday. It's 12 noon. We are here. Kimmy's eating her lunch. Is that leftovers from our camping trip?
A mugshot. So maybe.
There you go. So last minute. We're now. Well, it wasn't last minute for Kim. It was last minute for me. We're going on this camping weekend, the wellness thing we told you about a couple of weeks ago, and it was like no. We were leaving at 8 o'clock in the morning, and at 9 o'clock the night before. We were barely packed, still didn't have a tent, and rushed into Tesco's to get food for the weekend. And I was like, right, we'll have access to water, and there's bound to be a kettle. We just need anything that we don't need to cook.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was. We went with a plan for a very nutritionally incompetent weekend. But luckily, most of the stuff we took, we ended up bringing back because the food that was included was really good. So yeah, I'm glad you're putting that shopping trip to good use, my love.
This is actually my breakfast and my lunch. It's not good, is it? It's the first time I've eaten today. It's 12 o'clock. I'm basically wasting away.
It's not good, but I can't say. People that know me well know that I have a weird relationship with eating. Like, I love food, but remembering to eat at the right times, I'm not very good at that stuff. But there we go. Okay, social media news this week. I have been through my usual sources, and then I went through sources that I kind of look at semi-regularly.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went through things like my junk folder as well, where sometimes things crop up in there. And when I looked at social media feeds of other people that I follow in the social media world, and the people I see as being my influencers, if you like, and I've basically come up with nothing. There is nothing in the world of social media that is exciting me this week. There's 2 LinkedIn things that I'm like, whatever about. So one of them is LinkedIn's launched a podcast for focused on Gen Z. So focused on people in early careers. And it's basically talking about, how to start your career, put yourself on the best track, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that's great. Doesn't really affect anyone when it comes to the world of social media marketing.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, which I thought, well, it's not going to affect anyone. In a LinkedIn post, you've got a maximum number of characters you can use. That's essentially been doubled. I can't even remember the number it's been increased to, but people very, very rarely run out of characters on LinkedIn. I think in doing this in 11 years, I've run out of characters on LinkedIn once, maybe twice.
No, I'm more of I don't know, mine have got longer, actually. Thing is,
but if you're doing something that long, it's going to be an article anyway. It's not going to be a post.
Yeah. Speaking personally, I don't read that many long posts on LinkedIn. If it's a video, I'll click on it. If it's a long post, I'll go, oof, that seems like a lot.
This is why it's really important. If you are writing on LinkedIn and it's something that's longer text, even though people are only seeing those first few lines, if they do click on read more, the text has got to be structured in such a way that it's easy to read. That doesn't mean doing the broetry thing where it's like you write a line or two and then you're dropping down a couple of lines to write the next thing and dropping down another. And it's like, that's like you're just being a twonk at that point. It's not messy, a twonk.
A twonk. It's messy for me because I feel like, is it intentional or are they just a bit of a twonk?
Yeah, they're being a twonk.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So there is, so, but you've got to have things structured. So paragraphs that are, maybe 3-4 lines of paragraph, not too in-depth paragraphs, things like, numbering things, using using emojis as bullet points, that sort of stuff to make it easy for people to read. Don't do things like the italics and the bolds that you can do
that
because
makes me feel ill.
Well, do you know what? It's actually, I understand why people do it because it stands out, because it's like, that's not how it's supposed to be. So they notice it's not how it's supposed to be. But in terms of that content then being read correctly, indexed correctly from a diversity inclusion perspective, it doesn't do you any favors.
Yeah,
so don't keep it simple. Like, why are you putting that extra effort in? I know it's only a couple of clicks, But why are you putting that extra effort in? Like, put that extra bit of effort into making that bit of content just that little bit better.
Yeah, when I see it on Instagram, honestly, I think I do let out it just gives me the ick. It gives me social media ick. Like, I just hate it.
Right. I'm going to confess something now. I've been like all over the place already today. I've been doing things. I've been working on proposals, sales call, mentoring. So I'm a bit like blah, 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 all over the place. When you said ick just then, it made me think of something. So I popped in at Friends last night and they were watching a replay of Friends. And the episode title was something like, it had the word ick in it anyway, the one where whoever gets the ick, I don't know.
Yeah.
So we're chatting and they'd paused it because obviously I'd arrived, we're having a cup of tea, they'd paused it and it was on there and I just noticed it. So isn't it interesting? Because when I think of the word ick, it's quite a recent thing. I don't think I ever remember hearing ick as a term with that, the meaning that it has today.
Yeah.
I swear it's only in the last year or so that ick has been used, but certainly by people in my circles. And so I was really surprised to see it in an episode title of Friends that was...
In 1995, the one with the ick factor.
That's it. So I was like, I was 15 then. How has it taken me near 1995, you said?
Yeah. It's 2025 next year.
I just realised how old I am, man. It's taken me nearly 30 years to recognise the word.
But don't forget, the majority of those 30 years, you've been married.
Comatose.
So you wouldn't be using the word ick, would you? But now, in the past year, your circumstances may have changed, which allows you a broader, what's the word?
Vocabulary,
but also, what's the word I'm looking for? It's now on your radar because of certain things, maybe if you're chatting or scanning certain sites.
Or swiping.
If you're swiping, yes, it's, ick is very much, you're now in that world, baby.
Maybe I just know more single people now.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, maybe I know more people that are swiping now.
That's, other people.
Other people. But yeah, isn't that interesting? The way language kind of comes and goes and comes and goes. And
it's like fashion though, isn't it? You think like the mullet haircuts that lads are having now. Like back in the 80s.
I'm like, what is that about? What is that about? So right, I'm filtering what I'm saying so it doesn't then become obvious who I'm talking about. So
too late now because you've made.
You see, when I'm trying to filter myself, I have to shut down my senses in order to filter properly. So I have to close my eyes. So I saw someone that I haven't seen for a while in the flesh, spoken to them, like WhatsApp, the rest of it, but not actually seen them in the flesh for a while. And since I last saw them, they've now had a mullet haircut. And I looked and I just thought, what the hell is going, like,
what's this?
What is that? And I think you were in the car with me. Where were we driving to? Oh, it must have been when we went down to sort of Surrey kind of way a few weeks ago to see Beverly. And like my radio music thing in my car wasn't working and we had like Radio 1 on or whatever. And there was like people were calling in talking about whether or not they've got a mullet. And I was like, why is that even a conversation? I didn't realise, even sitting in the car with you, listening to that, thinking, what the hell? I hadn't realised that mullets were now potentially a comeback thing.
They've already came back. They've been back for a while, and just know there is no way on God's earth that my child is walking around with that barnet. It's just not happening. I've not yet seen one that I've gone, oh, actually, that looks all right. I'm just getting redneck.
Yeah. Now, I have to admit, my first proper boyfriend, back when I was 16, he had a mullet.
Your first proper boyfriend, not the other ones that didn't quite get
not
into
the,
the
not,
proper.
not the pretendy ones. I'm
Not
not
the
going to
bike shed
talk live
ones.
about how we define proper and not proper. So basically, he was my second boyfriend, and the first one didn't really count.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so let's put it that way. He had a mullet at the time. So this is what, 1996.
Yeah.
At that time, I don't think I even registered. Like, he had a weird haircut. I didn't really register it was a mullet because this guy had a lot of other qualities. And once we were together, the mullet didn't last long. That went pretty quick.
Okay. Yeah. Got you.
I don't know what that says about me.
It says that you know what you want, and if it's not right, you will change it.
I lasted longer than the mullet did. So let's put it that way.
Brilliant.
Once we got together. Oh God. Oh, it's going to be one of those live lunches today, isn't it? I can feel it in my bones.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know how to move on to this. So I'm going to come to, like, I've shared, like, all I've got social media wise was those two things, which I've already talked about, which are absolute non-events. Okay. What about you? What stood out for you?
So YouTube are adding a family centre, which it's going to roll out globally, or is rolling out globally, which is essentially where parents can link an app to their children's social media, YouTube channels, and they can see the engagement, they can see comments, they get notified if they go live. So it's all about just making sure that their kids are being safe and all that sort of stuff. And when I say kids, I mean 13 and above.
I was going to say,
anybody under 13 and above should be on YouTube Kids.
Yeah.
So again, YouTube Kids is.
Yeah.
They've got it's like 5 and 6 YouTube Kids, perfect. But for sort of 7 to 12, it's too young.
Mm.
So yeah, but I thought that was nice. So more safety measures.
The thing is, so maybe it's just where my head's at the minute. I'm a bit kind of like I'm minded today. I don't want to do any actual work. I want to just go out and I want to have conversations with people and do the mentoring stuff and go out and record content. And it's a bit dull and grey, and I've got emails to do. So maybe it's my mindset today. But I said, as I was flicking through things, I saw this story, and the fact that it's targeted at teenagers, like, honestly, like, they're going to find a way around it. It's like I get the premise. I get the them wanting to be seen to be doing something to protect younger users, all that kind of thing. But I'm like, as a parent of kids that have gone through their teenage years, like, they'll just find a way around it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is it me and my parenting? I don't know. Obviously I'm going to monitor, but I'm not going to stalk. Do you know what I mean?
So I would say up until the age of 13, you'd need to stalk your kids because they don't have the emotional maturity at that age. Now, being the mother of daughters, maybe I've got a slightly different view of things, but it gets to the point where things like the cyberbullying thing, that understanding of telling, that honestly, it's like when they're about 10, 11, girls are vile. They are absolutely vile. And the power of having one of these devices in their hands, or an iPad, or anything with some kind of direct messaging feature, it's like they just haven't got the emotional maturity to be able to
process,
calibrate, really. Calibrate's the wrong word. They need to be able to manage it. So if I'm angry, regulate. That's it. It's the emotional.
I beat you on a word thing. This is the pinnacle of my career. That's it. It's over now.
but it is, yeah, the emotional regulation, they just don't have it. I remember with both of my girls, that actually that's unfair. Not so much with Emma, with her being older, but with Bella, I remember there being issues in the classroom, and that's at that time they all had. Oh my God, my words are escaping me today. No. So not phones. You know, the
pages.
music in your pocket.
Walkman.
No, the Apple, like the little mini
iPods,
right? So they all had iPods, but you could iMessage over the iPods.
Yeah.
And some of the messages coming through just absolutely vile. And of course, they're starting to understand some sexual terms. They understand, like, if I want to upset someone, I can call them fat.
Yeah.
Right. But they don't have that emotional regulation of, I'm angry, I need to step away from this now.
Yeah.
It's like
it's reactive, isn't it?
Absolutely. So whether it's your child giving it out or taking it because they get upset equally, whichever side of the fence they're on. So I think up until the age of about 13, they need to be stalked. They have to be stalked. And that's going on where things were. So Bella's 18 now. So that's based on where things were 8 years ago. And you and I both know how much further forward things have gone from there. Just from a gaming perspective, neither of my girls were gamers.
Yeah.
But I know Ollie's quite into his gaming already. That's just going to continue, and he'll be speaking.
The things that he plays, like, I don't know, he's just, all he does is that.
Yeah.
He's not commenting, he's not doing any of that. I know that because he's next to me whilst he's doing it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, yeah. But, I will link myself to the YouTube account that he uses, and I shall monitor going forth.
Yeah, that's it. I nearly swore then. Stalk the little man. Stalk him.
What were you going to call my child? Excuse me?
I told you I'm a bit of a weird place today.
Not acceptable. Thank you. Only I get to call him a little.
It was with love. It was with love. Okay, come on then. Right, social media news.
Next one, what was the other one that I had? So Snapchat are going to be introducing more ad opportunities. So think LinkedIn InMail when you get sponsored stuff and flying in. That's going to start sliding into your DMs, but you won't get a notification, and it is optional if you open it. So it's just a way of opening up more ad opportunities for people. Sponsored ads appear in the chat inbox as a new snap without push notification, and opening the message is optional. This allows advertisers to engage prospective customers all the way down the funnel, all within a single ad unit. Raise awareness with broad reach in the chat inbox, improve consideration with people who used to view Snap, and drive conversion with an in-message call to action. There you go. Boom. Did that just off the top of my head.
Yeah, it sounded like it.
Smooth. Thoughts, feelings?
It's difficult because I think with Snapchat it tends to be bigger brands. So if they're using that type of advertising and it's using their first party data, so was that an Adidas t-shirt you're wearing, right?
Yes, it is. Thanks very much.
Yes. Right. So all of a sudden you're in Snapchat, you get a message from Adidas because Adidas have your email, they have your phone number, they know you buy from them.
Yeah.
I think that could work. However, to a cold audience, I don't think it's that straightforward. I'm a big fan of nurturing, but then maybe that's because that's the area of marketing that the audience,
don't just come at me with your sales stuff.
Yeah.
I will not conform, and I will not engage. I will just.
How many ads do you see, whether it's in your feed, in your inbox, in your email inbox even, where it's from a brand that says buy my shit, and you respond to it and you go,
No,
oh yes, please.
Although I did the other day. I got, and when I say the other day, it was when we were in the car on the way back from Wales. I felt like I needed a dopamine hit, and I saw a t-shirt, and I was like, oh, that looks nice. Bang, it's arrived.
Okay, so where did you see the ad? Did you search for it? Did you search for something and it came up in search results, or were you scrolling through Instagram and it was there?
Scrolling through Instagram or Facebook, one of the two.
Okay, and who did you buy it from? Someone you've heard of before, or someone completely
Never heard of them.
Okay, so it's an absolute impulse buy.
Absolute impulse buy, but it is linked to other styles of t-shirt that I have been looking at. Do you know what I mean?
On that site or elsewhere?
Elsewhere. I don't know.
Okay.
What have I bought recently? I've been buying lots of clothes recently. Yeah, I'm just getting loads and loads of the same sort of ads. Predominantly quirky t-shirts that are like a bit out there.
Yeah, so again, you're probably being targeted because of your previous engagement behavior, whether it's buying or clicking on stuff.
Yeah, clicking. Yeah, because I have been doing a lot of swipey. That looks nice. Click on it, pop it in the basket, forget about it.
Yeah. Okay, so interesting. But how often do you do that?
How often do I click and add to basket and scroll through and
go through and check out? Do the whole process?
Check out. Not that often on Instagram, to be honest. I've done it twice. One was for some mushroom gummies because they were on offer. I don't know if they've worked or not. And the other one was for the t-shirt. I've tried to. It's like we buy any car, isn't it?
Yeah.
I will, Paul. I will. I have a terrible illness, which means I need dopamine all the time. I forgot what we were talking about.
See, I've only ever, like you see an ad and you go, I need that in my life.
Yeah. Oh, I do that a lot.
And I've only ever twice gone through the whole process and bought. And when you think how often we're online, scrolling, seeing stuff on every platform. So one was there's a bangle that I normally wear. I haven't put it back on today. So there was that one, but I had seen it before.
Okay.
And then I got it as an ad with a crazy discount on it.
Yeah.
And the other one was some sweary pencils.
Fantastic.
And the only reason I bought those was as a wind up for someone else. Because I knew I could make a little bit of an ongoing joke out. They'd become a prop for a joke.
Yeah.
But I love those sweary pencils. I've had them for years and never used them. They're still in their packet, all nice. And every now and then I just get them out, read them, put them away again.
Right. So you bought those for somebody else, then you've never given them to them, is what I'm hearing.
No, it wasn't for someone else. It was there was a joke that I wanted to make.
Right.
And the pencils just hammered home the joke.
Good.
Because of one of the phrases on one of the pencils.
I don't think we should cover that live, to be honest.
They're good pencils.
I'm sure they're good pencils, but I don't think you should say the words. Unless you want to.
No, I'm not going to. Yeah.
Anyway, Oasis bingo last week. Can we just talk about that? Because I just think that was just incredible. And I do think that we were supposed to do it again this week, but I completely forgot. But just seeing Paul pop up. But the good news is Oasis have released 2 more dates. So
yeah. Do you think we should have predicted that?
Oh, of course they do it all the time. It's the perfect marketing thing where you put something in place which makes people panic. Like 5 spaces left. People panic and they're like, I need it. And then they just release big gigs do it all the time.
and they want to have full shows, right? So it's a bit like so when you run an event, especially if it's a free event and you're expecting bigger numbers, one of the things you should do is, let's say you're expecting 100 people at the event.
Yeah.
You've got chairs set out for 100 people. You've got 100 people that have confirmed they're coming. The first thing you do is take out the back 2 rows of chairs. So you now know you've got less chairs than people.
Right.
Because what happens is people come in, and obviously like those that want to be at the front do, the ones that want to hang back, and then you end up with like gaps and the rest of it. So because there's only so many chairs, you end up with less gaps.
Yeah.
And there's always people that come late. So rather than have them fighting through the crowds to get to that one empty seat in the middle of row 4, you're just adding the chairs back in at the back.
Genius. Have you ever thought of event planning?
I may have dabbled with it once or twice over my working life. So yeah, it's the same thing with that. You know, it was going to be a sellout, no doubt. Sellout. But yeah, it's a nice way of them managing things to ensure that every show they do is absolutely right back.
And now they're doing the process of buying tickets for these 2 shows completely different. It's not a free for all. The people who registered or whatever through Ticketmaster and someone else, those people will get priority
pre-release.
Which is quite nice. I mean, I didn't even bother because I just thought it's just, It's just someone I know paid £458 for a ticket. I don't care who you are. I am not paying. I wouldn't even spend on a concert anyway. I think, how much is the most I've spent? Like 90, maybe. I'm not paying more than that. I don't care who you are. That's a piss take. That's a Mickey take.
I'd pay that amount of money to see someone live if it was part of a bigger event and numbers were smaller, so it was more intimate. And you know, it's like,
I'm not paying hundreds of pounds to see. It's not happening. But that's just me, where I get my back up and just think you're taking the mick. So I'm sure Liam and Noel are absolutely devastated. So that's probably, you know, why they've put 2 more shows on to try and encourage me, because it's all about me.
Trying to encourage it. It won't be the same without you there.
I know it won't. But you know, you just got to roll with it.
Here we go again.
Not doing any more. Honestly, the level of excitement that gave me last week, I had to calm down after we finished.
We were buzzing afterwards, weren't we?
Yeah, not well.
But yeah, okay, right. So let's move on. Let's let it be and crack on.
That was terrible. That was. So it's Beatles song this week. I don't even know many Beatles songs, to be honest. Oh, okay.
Have you got one?
Yeah, I don't know many songs, so you'll have to help.
Oh,
yeah.
I feel this is. Don't let me down. Like, don't get me wrong. It would be hard to get Eleanor Rigby into our conversation.
Is that a song?
Yeah. It's the name of a song about a person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it would be hard to get that into conversation. But I just did.
You just did, and that's what we love about Live Lunch, is we all come together and just make it work, don't we? Come together. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Anything else social media news wise?
No.
I got to tell you. So you know, I've been making my own turmeric and ginger shots and freezing them. I forgot to take my ice cubes out last night, so I took them out, and they're. Can you see? Can you see how yellow it is?
Oh Christ! It's like a yellow submarine.
It smells amazing.
Does it?
The thing is, it smells gorgeous. Yeah, it does kind of look like that. It smells amazing, and it's almost all melted now. The thing is, I know it just doesn't taste fantastic.
Right.
It doesn't taste rank because love ginger and I love turmeric. So I can't say it tastes disgusting, but it just doesn't taste nice. But the smell is amazing and it's really good for me. And I'm like, I just want to do it now, but it's still not quite
do
melted.
it. Neck it.
All right.
Welcome to a day in the life of Green Umbrella. Here we chat absolute nonsense whilst indulging in weird health things. Yeah, and do shots. Yeah. So
I'm feeling that the ginger now, the little tingly, and it's like it works its way down the back of it's almost like the back of your throat. So it's not there, it's like just behind it. And you start to feel it. And then about 10 minutes, it's like it's in your stomach. But it's not like a burning feeling in your stomach. It's like a cleaning feeling.
sure.
I love it. It just doesn't taste good.
Good.
And I could mix it in a bit of apple juice and make it better.
Right.
But I feel like that's cheating. I feel like if I'm doing it, I should commit. Now that I'm making my own, I should be all in.
Right. Do you know we're still live?
I know. I told you my head's all over the place today.
We're just,
And it's possible I doubled up on the mushrooms this morning, which
right.
are helping me focus, but they're helping me focus on a million things at once.
That's it. You'll be so awake that you'll be working away and it'll be like, oh my God, here comes the sun.
Oh.
I feel like we should end this. This is getting weird.
I haven't got any other social media news.
No, that's it. No, see you next week.
Do you know what? There is one other thing. I'm going to share. Nothing to do with social media, nothing to do with marketing. However,
or turmeric and ginger,
or turmeric or ginger, or the fact that I'm my one of my jobs for this week in term. Okay, so this is actually interlinked. Okay. I keep pulling my hair because I feel like my hair's really puffy on this camera and I'm trying to like make it flatter and it's just making it bigger and bigger. Anyway.
That's the thing that's interlinked. No, don't drop your mushrooms anymore.
Okay, so Monday and Tuesday, I was out of Green Umbrella. I am a mentor on a business mastermind. Okay. And over there, I'm talking to entrepreneurs. Most of them are working solo or they might have small teams. And over the 2 days, I had 3 separate conversations, one-to-one with business owners who are just, 3.
That's a weird way of saying 3. We're so distracted. Carry on the story. Carry on.
It's the public speaking thing, because if you do any numbers that way, if you're not thinking, you might end up doing things you don't mean to do. Whereas if you do it that way, anything that you do by accident is only good, isn't it?
Got ya.
Exactly. So,
3 conversations.
And maybe it's the end of summer thing kicking in.
Right.
Some of them had kids, young kids, older kids. Some of them no kids, or kids are older like mine are. And there are certain points in the year where I feel like everyone's just on a bit of a low.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's that real feeling of we might not have had much of a summer, but people can feel autumn coming. So there's that bit of a dip as well. Yeah, and so I was hearing people were talking to me about feeling unmotivated, feeling overwhelmed, feeling isolated, and all of that leads to feelings of stress, depression, versions of that at whatever level. And it's different for everyone. And with all of them, I ended up having the same conversation. So there's this thing called HALT, and I know I've spoken to you about this before as well. So emotionally, like we exist. There is the Christina, and there is the Green Umbrella persona, that business persona, and I can only show up as the best person in business if I'm the best version of Christina. And that means having my mushrooms that have the health benefits and the adaptogenic stuff with focus and etc. Having the turmeric and the ginger that helps my digestive system and reduces inflammation in the body, and drinking my 2 litres of water a day and going to the gym. But it's also actually, how do you look after what's up here? And what happens is sometimes we fall into this trap where we become almost obsessive with our work, that we forget to prioritize ourselves. And HALT stands for hungry, angry, lonely, tired. So are you, and we joked earlier about, you eating your pasta pot and me being crap at eating on time. I've got a real focus at the minute on making sure I get enough calories into my system each day.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I don't fuel myself, I can't turn up as the best version.
Yeah.
We get angry about things, and a lot of those things we need to just let go of because they're not that important. That, the fact you're late and then someone cuts you up in traffic, or it feels like every freaking traffic lights is on red, and it's, you're rushing to get where you go and the road's shut, and you get frustrated with other people or with yourself. And actually that anger, we just need to let it go. Sometimes we're working too much in isolation. And especially now when everyone is working from home, that's a massive generalization, but a lot of people are working from home and all they've got to keep them company is their inbox. They're not organizing those situations, whether it is going to the gym to be around people or going to knitting club or whatever it might be, to go and hang out with people, make the phone call to that person you haven't spoken to for 3 months to reconnect. And sometimes it is tired. We're either not getting enough sleep, or even if we are getting 6, 7, 8 hours, the quality of that sleep is poor.
Why is that just showed me yawn? That's weird.
Sorry. So it is like when you're feeling like these kind of lulls, it is hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Have I fueled myself? What resentments am I holding on to? I need to just forget about, let go of, or resolve. Maybe you need to resolve them. Like, how social have I been outside of work? And actually, how's my sleep? What can I do to improve my sleep? I guarantee when you look at those 4 things, there will be at least 2 of them that are out of kilter. See, I did it. There will be at least 2 of them out of kilter. I bet if you can keep all, like, people talk about work-life balance, which, as we know, I think is bullshit anyway. But hungry, angry, lonely, tired, if you can make sure that you're doing well on those 4 things, I'm not saying you won't get these dips, but they're much easier to correct. You bounce back and you don't get as low into them as you might do. Focusing on those 4 things allows you to keep you on your list. We end up with this massive to-do list, and it's work, home, business, family, everyone else, everything else is on that list, and we're not. One of the people I spoke to, she was like, oh yeah, but I went and did this for myself last week. And I was like, brilliant. You managed to get yourself on the bottom of your list. What can we do to get, now you're on the list, what can we do to get you higher up that list and top of that list? Because it's that thing of oxygen mask first. So yeah, just because that's been coming up a lot. I said it came up. Actually, came up.
I sent you a list, didn't I, the other day?
Say again?
Didn't I send you a list just last night?
Yeah. And it is, things get on top of us, and it's like, okay, how much of that is actually for me versus for other people? How much of this stuff am I putting more importance on, that, I'm treating it like it's super urgent and getting stressed it's not happening, when actually it's something that the only urgency is the urgency I'm putting on it. So if I lower the stress I'm putting on it, actually it becomes easier to achieve.
Yeah.
So yeah, so HALT, HALT. So you're feeling shit, HALT. Think hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Pop in a couple of fixes and you'll be good. Trust me.
Good.
On that note, we can end it now. I feel like I've done my
Please.
bit.
Yeah, please do. My pasta's gone
Bit
really
of marketing, bit of marketing, bit of mindset, bit of mischief. Perfect live lunch.
See how she just fucking brilliant.
Amazing. Cool. All right. We will be back. We'll be back for and mullets as well. We'll be back next Thursday. The kids are back at school now. Hopefully the social media world will wake up. And there'll be more to talk about next week. In the meantime,
and you might be speaking to an award winner next week. Who knows?
Oh yeah.
But we don't need to talk about that. Just end it.
All right. End it. Bye. Bye.